What's going on, Delmarva? I'm Spencer Tillis.
I'm Kaylina Speakman.
I'm Trayvon Miles.
And this, of course, is the Delmarva Sports Insider. Coming up in just a bit in today's episode, it was a Legion baseball season picking up all over the place. Queen Anne's got a break from playing some of the teams over here on the shore as they faced off against Greenbelt. We'll have highlights in just a minute.
And the state line Strutters were looking to stay perfect against Tri-County. Would Tri-County be the one to knock them off?
I don't know, and it was day one of the DMV Elite Rise tournament here in the Bury. Highlights on our local teams in just a minute.
Well, we are officially in full summer mode now, and it's hard to imagine, but last time we checked, last week we had a few All-Star games wrapped up the entire season. Yep. All of it is now in the rearview mirror. All the All-Star games out of the way, except for just one.
Just one.
Yep. Just a pretty big one. The 61st annual Blue Gold game for football in the first state. Some of Delaware's best athletes, best players get to represent their schools in for one final time. And it's always an exciting game for the players and everybody alike, as the players, well, they got to meet some of their buddies before the game, helping raise intellectual disabilities. Now, blue team takes an early 7-0 lead in this game right here off the toss to the right when it finds Colby Reeder. The young man can flat out ball, gets to the sideline, turns it upfield, and scores just the start of his huge day. Gold team looking for the answer now, and how about this? Dover's Tristan Harris finds Smyrna's Brandon Bishop, and check out the hands right there on the touchdown catch. Gold team back in the red zone looking for another score, but Colby Reeder says, think again, this dude is unreal. Maybe the play of the game. Picks it off and takes that thing 100 yards back for the longest pick six in Blue Gold history. Blue would take a 2-score lead late, and then how about this? Newark's Angel Guerrero rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. The big fella into the touchdown for the score right there. Gotta love it when the big guys get inside like that. The blue team goes on to get the win, 31-20 the final.
You would think playing them throughout the seasons, like, man, I wouldn't have fun. I don't like these guys, but, man, we created bonds that will last a lifetime, man. These guys are like my brothers after this week, man. We had so much fun. It's just an honor to be able to play with them.
Once I started knowing the guys, it's been real. We stayed up some nights hanging out. Bonds grew. They're my brothers. I love them.
First off, anytime bonds grow, it's the best thing in the world right there, right? No, but, you know, we started off with the highlights there of the kids working with, obviously, intellectual needs for a reason. That's what this game is all about. And it was funny because I actually had an opportunity to go to Logan's graduation, and his buddy surprised him coming down to it. He was taking pictures with him. And that means so much to what this game is about. Those guys are so connected in that short time. And for as much as, you know, that moment means to those kids, the lasting memory that these athletes get to know working with those kids really means so much to them. And the football game was great. A lot of great highlights, but that is what at the core this is all about. And it's great to see, you know, kind of those moments. 61
years they've been doing that. I met a guy that said he played in the game in the 70s. He and his buddy are still friends today, and they still talk today. So that's what kind of lasting memory that game gives. All right, guys, as much as I would like to keep talking football, you know I would love to. We're going to transition to a little baseball. The boys of summer were in action today. I'm talking about some Legion ball. Queen Anne's Kent had the tall task of taking on Greenbelt, compiled with players from DeMatha. That's a pretty good team, but Kent Queen Anne's would jump on them first. Bottom of the third, Kyle Sonnevelt from Kent Island pops one in the left. That drops, and Cole Clabe is going to score, take a 1-0 lead. Greenbelt would answer back. Nick Washington squeeze, land one down. Moises Artisi, he is going to score. Tied game in the fourth. But Alex Uterson would get out of the jam. He gets a strikeout. That is a Queen Anne's grad right there. In the bottom of the fourth, the home team, they would get going. Brady Wilkins beats out the throw to first here on this double play. That would score a runner right there. And then Clabe, he would send a screamer down the third base line. Third baseman, he can't handle that one either. Scores another run. They win this game 5-1. That is a very, very good win, beating a team like a quality of DeMatha. First time catching this Queen Anne's Kent team, and they aren't loaded with talent like we would say the Salisbury team is, but they know how to get the job done. We see a lot of the guys on the Wycomico team, and we know their name. We're used to the big names, but remember, this team is from Queen Anne's. Who's beat Parkside in these teams down here over the past couple years in high school? This Queen Anne's team. So it's pretty interesting to me that we don't really know these names, but these guys are opening up my eyes a little bit as the summer starts.
Yeah, I was talking to Hallman before they went up there, and I was like, well, it was supposed to be a tri-tournament, and they were supposed to be up there as well. And I was like, well, we get a chance to kind of get back at Queen Anne's. And he was a little upset they didn't have that opportunity to go showcase it a little bit because I'm sure there's a little bit of hurt feelings right there.
Yes.
Well, speaking of Wicomico, earlier this week, Dorchester made the trip down to Wicomico to face them right here in Wicomico, rolling into this game, perfect 8-0 on the season, and they get right to it. Bottom of the first, Matt Smith hits this one to shallow right field, scores Mike Jean-Charles and LeBron Hillard. And then you're going to see his brother Andrew right here gets an RBI of his own, singles to right, scoring big brother Matt, and they have 5 runs in the first inning alone right here. Later on, trying to add to that lead, Jean-Charles up, drives this one to center, nice over-the-shoulder catch by Max Presley right here. But Wicomico, they would respond rather nicely. Ben Davis drives in Brant Smith, and that'll do it. Wicomico wins this one 10-0, and they improve to 9-0 on the season. And I got to personally cover Wicomico a week or so ago, and those guys just know how to have fun out there. And I think that's kind of just why it shows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Winning's fun.
I mean, they have a lot of big-name players. You know, Jimmy Atkins is one of them, to say the least. They have a great coach in Halleman. And, I mean, that's why they're winning. The season's almost over, and I think they might just stay perfect. I wouldn't doubt it.
It's funny how the contrast between the players and Coach Halleman, because he coaches, you know, Parks are the same way. He's such a reserved, old school guy. You can barely get like 2 words out of him, and his guys are heckling, having a good time with each other. I mean, they make fun of each other more than they make fun of the other team. I mean, they're having a blast out there. He's got to be a great coach to play for, especially since they win a lot of games. I mean, he knows how to coach for one reason. Well, the Eastern Shore League was back in action this week as well. Slow start to the year for the Purdue Chicks. I mean, they were the team to beat last year. It does not look that way so far this year. The good news is they were taking on the Thunder, and the Thunder love handing out wins. Well, they were taking on the Purdue, like I said, and well, they're going to get on the board here first after Craig Stanley gets into one. That'll go ahead and drop in as they would push their lead to 2-0 after Nick Forbush is going to get an RBI fielder's choice of his own. This right here is going to score Brian Bloach. The Thunder, well, they would be down, but try and slow down the damage, and this right here is going to help Mason Elzey. He's going to be on the mound and gets the strikeout right there after a little bit, but Purdue would just eventually figure him out. DJ Doherty would have a go-ahead hit as well, then Forbush would send one to center. They're going to go on to get the win in that thing. Shortly after that, like I said, they would go on to get the win, and we'll go ahead and jump to the next video over here.
8-0. All right, the Strutters taking on Tri-County, and I tell you what, this was a great game. Top of the second, Wing Chen gets hit by a pitch. That allows Kyler Donnell to score. Strutters taking a little bit more, and I'll tell you what, Noah Daniels comes up with a big strikeout and gets out of the bases loaded jam. Man in scoring position, Brian Hall, he singles the center, drives in Taylor Anderson. Strutters would eventually get going. 6th inning, Big Mike Turner sending one deep enough for Brandon McCabe to tag up and score. Then Nico Cribb hitting one hard to shoot short. That is booted. That allows Donald to come in. Strutters get the win. They win this one 10-3, the final.
And in the Eastern Shore Baseball League standings, obviously the State Line Strutters are sitting in first place, perfect 8-0 record. In second, we have Tri-County with a 6-3 record. In third, we have the Purdue Chicks with a 3-5 record. No shock. And then last place, the Thunder, winless, 0-9 record. The league action will resume tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. with all the teams playing.
Like you said, man, I cannot believe what's happening to Purdue right now. 3-5 on the year. They lost 2 games all season last year, but they got a lot of turnover on that roster. So
it seems like Strutters, obviously, the 9-0, they seem to be the team to beat. They seem the most veteran squad. Purdue's so young this year. They lost all their veteran guys. It's been hurting them. Maybe they'll figure it out by the end, but I guess we'll have to sit around and find out. Well, it's time for our first commercial break, but coming up next, it is finally time for our first Bird's Nest of the year. We get to know all-star catcher Alex Murphy next.
Nolan Henderson, quarterback, Smyrna High School. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.